Welcome to your Aligned as Fuck Life podcast, hosted by your girl, Shalvika. I am a life transformation coach, a wife, a cat mom, pure generator, Enneagram 3, Pisces sign, and helping you build an aligned as fuck life is my jam. Out in this world, we believe that there are no set rules for building a life, career, and business. That we are all unique and we should be able to embrace our uniqueness in everything we do while shedding all the rules or bullshit rules one at a time. We will talk all things mindset, manifestation, healing, energetics, rituals, success, and so much more. I believe that I can have it all and you can too. Ready for an episode that will take you one step closer to your aligned as fuck life? Let's get started. Hi and welcome to another episode of your aligned as fuck life with Shalvika. Today I want to talk to you about 3 blocks that block you from being more creative, that block you from adding more fun, adding more childlike wonder, connecting to that deeper inner child that resides in each of us. And this is actually episode 7 out of the 8 episodes. So on 24th of July 2023, I decided I'm going to release 8 episodes in 8 days, and this is episode 7. So yay for me. But I want to talk to you about blocks for creativity and how you can remove them too. Some of the very common blocks that I have faced, I have talked to my clients who have faced, are, again, it's not rocket science, but procrastination, perfectionism, and people pleasing. Oh my God, it's like 3 P's. And I feel a lot of these blocks are deeply, deeply rooted in the resistance that we feel to create. We all have this resistance to create because, when you're trying to create something, you're trying to be more creative, you're trying to add more fun into your life. What you're actually doing is you are doing something that your brain isn't used to, right? And our brains love comfort. They fucking love comforts. Anytime you want to do anything that's not comfortable to them, that they are not used to, they will resist. And it's our job as a human being to learn how we can overcome our resistance. And this resistance can show in a lot of ways. But today I want to talk to you about the 3 ways in which this resistance to creativity shows up in. The 3 P's: perfectionism, procrastination, and people pleasing. Awesome. So let's dive in. I'm going to first talk about procrastination. And let me just add here that I am an expert at procrastination. I am someone who for the longest time held on to this identity that I was someone who was lazy, I was someone who put things off, I was someone who started things but never finished them. That's who I identified as for a really, really long time. And I just want to say that I get it. I get you. If you're someone who's in the same boat, I get it. We are on the same exact boat because sometimes to start something new just takes so much momentum, right? And you need that momentum in order to overcome that resistance, overcome that internal battle that you are playing constantly with resistance. And it's just an easy way out, right? It just feels like, okay, let me rephrase that. It's not an easy way out. It feels like an easy way out. Procrastination is our brain's way to comfort us in the moment. So it's exchanging delayed gratification for instant gratification. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to finish reading my book instead of going and writing that email that I want to write. Or I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch another episode of this whatever series that I'm watching, and I'm going to put off recording an episode of my podcast. right? It's your brain's way to exchange delayed gratification for instant gratification. And especially if you're like me, if you have ADHD tendencies, if your brain is dopamine deprived, that just works super well for you, right? Because, well, it just gives you that dopamine hit right off the bat. And I want to just tell you that it's okay. That yes, that part of you exists. That part of me exists that hates getting up and like doing a lot of things, that loves procrastinating. And that's okay. Let's, instead of shaming that part of ourselves, what if we were to just like sit here and be like, okay, that's who I am. That's part of who I am. That's one of the things that I do. And that's okay. Right? And I'm going to find a way to change that. I'm going to find a way to make it happen for me. Right? And again, what the ways that I'm going to talk to you about to remove these blocks could be something that works for me. It could be that it might not necessarily work for you, but I still want to share my methods with you. Okay, so one of the first things that I do for procrastination specifically is I have started adding challenges to myself. Like I said, with an ADHD brain, my brain is dopamine deprived, right? So I am giving my brain instant dopamine hits by challenging myself. Like this exercise, 8 episodes in 8 days, is an exercise in challenging myself. It's a challenge that I took up. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that the month of July, today is 31st July, but the month of July, I decided to not watch any entertaining video that includes movies, TV shows, trailers, anything of that sort. I have not seen a single one of those in the entire month of July, right? So I give myself these dopamine hits. That's one. Second thing is I love creating trackers, right? So say I decide I'm going to drop 2 emails this week, I will create like weekly trackers for everything. That's a beautiful way for me to access that dopamine. You know, every time I make a tick mark on that, my brain is like, yay, right? And that kind of incites and instigates my brain to get off its ass and like do more things. Another thing that I love doing is getting an accountability partner. So I have a friend who I work out with, maybe not every time, but maybe like a few times in a month. But that's a good way to keep yourself accountable, because then she texts me, hey, are we going today? I text her, hey, are we going today? And then we both end up pushing each other to go work out, right? So your accountability is another way in which you can, eliminate and face this demon of procrastination. And my last way to do that is to just take the first step. And I know the first step is the hardest. Like the first step is like super hard, but just take the first step. So for example, when I work out with this bunch of gyms, they work on a model where they kind of release their schedule in advance, and then you have to book a slot for what kind of a workout you want to do. So they have multiple workouts. They have yoga, they have dancing, they have HRX, which is like strength and conditioning. They have boxing bag. So you just choose a time slot, you choose what workout you want. So what I do is I keep my classes booked in advance. And I don't make it for every class. I know that I don't make it for every class. However, out of like 4 classes that I have booked, I make it for at least 2 classes, which is 2 more than I would have gone otherwise, right? And last, I know this was the last tip, but then I remembered there's another last tip. Find something to do that really, really excites you. Sometimes procrastination is not laziness, and it's just your resistance because you don't really enjoy what you're doing. Like, I love yoga as a workout. I do yoga twice a week, and I'm so excited to wake up and go early morning for my yoga classes. It's not the same for me to lift weights for strength and conditioning, right? So how can I add more of yoga in my life? What if I were to just do things that spark joy rather than forcing myself to do things over and over again? So I feel these are my top tips to overcome procrastination. Awesome. Now let's move to our next P, which is perfectionism. Perfectionism shows up in a lot of us, especially us who have been raised in families expecting a certain level of performance, right? Like if you were raised in a family where you were rewarded for, oh my God, your handwriting is so neat. Oh my God, your handwriting is so bad. Why can't you just be neat and perfect, right? If you were rewarded for, oh my God, you look so thin and skinny and perfect. Oh my God, your skin is so glowing. So if you were rewarded for perfectionistic tendencies, you are going to want to be perfectionist. Or rather, if you were punished for not being perfectionist, you're going to want to become a perfectionist, right? That's where perfectionism comes from, this urge that everything needs to be in place before I go out and create, that all the stars need to align and all the unicorns need to line themselves in front of me and fart rainbows as I walk down the red carpet before I actually create and go out and do this step. That is what perfectionism is. And let me tell you something, it does not exist. Perfectionism is a fucking myth, right? So whoever told you that they are perfect, show them the middle finger. I mean, don't show them the middle finger if you're not that kind of a person. But my way would be to show them the middle finger and be like, fuck you. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. Nothing ever is perfect. And the whole idea of art and creation comes from imperfection after imperfection after imperfection. You have to create a lot in order to get to that space where you become an expert in something. I don't know if you've heard about this. I think it was Malcolm Gladwell who talked about how everything needs to be done, like you need to do something for 10,000 hours in order to become an expert in it, right? And experts don't start off as being experts. Like, it's just the fact. They don't, right? I recently went for the Van Gogh exhibit that came in Mumbai. And one of the things that I read there was he created some 200,000 paintings. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Van Gogh created 200,000 paintings in like 3 years or something, out of which the world knows of only 7, right? What I'm trying to say is you are not going to start off perfect. You are going to start off ugly and imperfect and failed, and it's going to be wrong in so many fucking ways, right? But that's how you start. You just start where you are and you get to be becoming better and better and better day after day, right? So again, one of my favorite ways in which I have overcome my perfectionism is to just do. So I took up this challenge called the Garbage Post Challenge a few months ago, maybe 6-7 months ago. And I did that consistently for 5-6 months. Basically, I decided to publish 100 posts in 30 days. And when you have to tackle that kind of a volume, there is no way but for you to be imperfect. There is no way but for you to be like, fuck it, there's a typo in this post, but I'm just going to put it up anyway, right? It just tells you and helps you to embrace your imperfect nature. It tells you to just be like, you know what? I don't give a fuck because I need to create. I need to create so much that it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, because the next thing is going to come and then the next thing is going to come and then the next thing's going to come, right? And I feel that is such an important way to overcome perfectionism. Another thing that I would definitely like to recommend if you are someone who's type A, who has perfectionistic tendencies, is work with a coach, because I feel inner child healing is such an important influencer in which how you look at perfectionism. So definitely work with a coach. If you want, my calendar is always open. You can get in touch with me on Instagram and we can see how we can get you out of that perfectionistic funk. But it's important that you get out of that perfectionistic funk because, again, perfectionism does not exist. And the last P that I want to talk to you about is people pleasing. So if you were raised in an environment where the love given to you is conditional, chances are that you are a people pleaser. People pleasing shows up in a lot of ways. It shows up in our good girl, good boy behavior. It shows up in how you would always put your needs behind everyone else's needs. It shows up in how you create something because you are scared how people are going to perceive this. You are scared of being judged. You are scared of being ostracized from your tribe, right? And people pleasing did serve a role, right? Like when we were living in jungles and we were hunter gatherers, we needed to be a part of our tribe because, well, if we weren't a part of our tribe, we would be eaten by the tiger and then we wouldn't survive. So it was essential for survival that you were a part of the tribe. But that's not true anymore. You don't have to people please. Your creation does not need to be from a space of people pleasing. I use a lot of swear words. That's who I am. It's not like I was raised by my parents to speak foul language. Of course not. They wanted a good girl who was raised speaking politely and being this polite, demure female. But tough luck, right? This is who I am. This is how I talk. My podcast is called Your Aligned as Fuck Life. My mastermind used to be called Aligned as Fuck Mastermind. My membership is called Aligned as Fuck Collective. That's who I am. It's the essence of who I am. And my essence is unique and important because what I bring to the table is so much different than they have experienced. I change fucking lives. So it doesn't matter if you have an objection to the language that I use because I am fucking changing lives. Right? And everyone comes from different stories and different backgrounds, and everyone's gonna have a different narrative when you try to express your uniqueness, right? But that's it. If you don't express your uniqueness, you are just going to be another one of 8 billion people. You're going to be another one of the templates that's just copied and pasted over and over again. Do you really want to be that? Or do you want to follow your heart and be your own authentic true self? And again, like perfectionism, the antidote to people pleasing is also to create. Just create more and more and more. Work on your sense of self-worth. Work on your sense of self-love. Because, this is probably going to go down like a tangent, but the most important person in your life is you. You are the only person that you can guarantee is going to be by your side till the day you draw your last breath. No matter who loves you how much, you cannot guarantee that they're going to be by your side. Right? So, won't you just want to do things for the person who's going to be by your side till the day you fucking die? Right? So fuck people pleasing. I'm not saying you need to be an asshole to everyone, but I'm saying that your voice matters, your uniqueness matters, what you have to share with the world matters. You are important, and the way you create is unique to you, and the world is thirsty to experience that. So fuck people pleasing. Just fucking create. All right, so these are my 3 blocks to creativity and how to overcome them. I would love to know your thoughts for this. I'm adding my Instagram handle in the show notes. Follow me and DM me if you want to have more conversation around this. Until next time, I will talk to you soon and be fucking awesome. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. If you absolutely loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on iTunes so that I can keep the good stuff coming. And if you aren't already following me on social media, come soak up some extra inspiration and send me a hello on Instagram by searching at Shalvika P. Also tagged in the show notes. I love and adore you so much, and I will talk to you super soon. In the meantime, continue building your most authentic and aligned as fuck life. Ciao!